Okay friends, it's time to get started on replacing our Upstream O2 sensors. The Upstream O2 sensor is going to be the O2 sensor that's closest to the engine. So if you were to look at the exhaust along the driver's side, you're going to see that you have two O2 sensors. The upstream closest to the engine, and then the downstream a little bit further down. Now with that said, the process to remove either side upstream O2 sensor will be the same. So to continue on, we're going to go ahead and dislodge the O2 sensor wiring harness from the transmission. To do that, I'm just going to use some long nose pliers. We'll squeeze on the two ears on the bracket, and you can carefully press it up and out of the transmission. Now let's grab it, pull it down to a working height. The next thing you want to do is grab onto the little tab right here. You're going to want to squeeze on that and then separate the two wiring harnesses. Once it starts to separate, go ahead and pull it apart. After that, you want to give the wiring harness a quick inspection. You want to make sure you don't see any funny colors. If you do, it's probably corrosion and it would need to be dealt with. This one looks fine, so we can continue. Now we're going to need to have a specialty socket. This is considered an O2 sensor socket. It's the perfect size, and it has a slot to make it so you can put your wire through it. Let's take that socket and we're going to put it directly onto the O2 sensor. Now we can use a 3/8 ratchet and we'll continue turning this counterclockwise until it's fully removed from the exhaust. All right. Let's pull this right out of here. There it is, friends. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is just go ahead and feel up inside here. I want to make sure that the threads where the O2 sensor is supposed to be aren't damaged in any way. Assuming it feels good, let's continue on installing our brand new Upstream O2 sensor. To put this in, you're going to notice inside the package came with a little bit of copper never sees. We're just going to use some of this directly on the threads. You never want to get anything on the sensing unit of the O2 sensor. Even a little bit of oil from your fingers could be very bad. Let's carefully start putting that O2 sensor into the exhaust by hand. You never want to start this in with a tool, and you definitely don't want to tighten it if it feels like it's stuck in any way. It could be cross-threaded. Now that I have that in there a couple threads, I can continue on with my O2 sensor socket. As you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't bind the wiring for your new O2 sensor. We'll just go ahead and keep turning this all the way in by hand. Now once you have that O2 sensor bottomed out, continue on by torquing it to 35 foot-pounds. Once you feel as though you have it fully tightened, give it a quick inspection. You want to make sure that you can see the gasket in between the O2 sensor and the exhaust is definitely crushed down a little bit, and it's making full contact across both parts. Let's plug in that O2 sensor, listen for a click. Give it a tug to make sure it's completely secured. After that, we're going to go ahead and put the plastic bracket for the O2 sensor connector back onto the transmission. Alright, so now that we have that fully secured, the next thing you're going to want to do is climb out from underneath the vehicle. Start it up, let it run for a little while. Make sure you don't have a check engine light, and then take it for a road test. Thank you for watching.